AI never sleeps, and this is not news to anybody in this room. It's great at answering questions, but it also understands the next best question to ask to really keep that conversation going, nudge the customer towards the action we want them to take, namely scheduling a tour. For year to date, our prospects that interact with the AI have scheduled a tour at almost 50% conversion rate versus, sub 20% for prospects that have not interacted with the AI.
We see AI very much as that agent augmentation side of things. I think for us, it's how can we create that as least friction as possible in the renting experience.
There are two things that consumers have in their expectations today: immediacy and instant gratification. Those two things are a given, a known. And the other thing is, depending on which source you consult, anywhere from 74 to 90% of buyers make a purchase decision based on experience. The human interaction between AI and our prospect and then our teams has to feel seamless. We don't want this experience to be jarring.
Every one of us is somewhere on the generative AI hype curve right now. That's why we thought timing was great to share this forum panel, moderated by Funnel's Cameron Skaff, our Senior Director of Client and AI Strategy, featuring 3 operators actually putting AI to work in multifamily today. You'll hear from Kelly Kutach of BH, Ian Andrews of Avanti, and Sarah Allwardt of Kane, as they dig into what's real, what's next, and where AI delivers the most value, whether converting leads, supporting residents, or scaling team training. Let's get into it.
I'm super excited about this panel, and for those of you I have not met, I'm Cameron Skaff, Head of Client and AI Strategy here at Funnel. We have some great partners with us up on the stage, and we're excited to chat with you all about what is next for generative AI and multifamily. I think you've heard a lot of the announcements that we've made through the forum so far. You've heard some of the things that we have coming up in our roadmap. So we'll go ahead and just jump on in. Sarah, I'll start with you. Would love for you to just, one, introduce yourself, who you are, where you're from, how you guys operate. But then more specifically, we'd love for you to chat through where you guys are leveraging AI, where you think it should be deployed within the prospect and renter journey, and where you guys are kind of shying away from for operational reasons or just technological reasons. Like, we're not there yet today in our industry technology-wise. I'd love to hear your perspective on that.
Happy to. That is a mouthful of a question. Well, hi, everybody. I'm Sarah Allwardt. I am the Director of Marketing and Resident Experience at Kane Realty Corporation. We're a regional developer and property management company based out of Raleigh, North Carolina. Our multifamily portfolio is about 6,000 units. About half of them are owned assets and half are third-party managed. The way that we're seeing the greatest gains today in using AI is through our communication with renters. And there's really 2 ways that AI is helpful here. The first, AI never sleeps, and this is not news to anybody in this room. I'm sure, most, if not all of you have implemented some sort of virtual leasing agent that communicates with prospects after hours, right? None of us want to miss out on those leads. But the second and more important way that AI is helpful is just its conversational nature. It's great at answering questions, but it also understands the next best question to ask to really keep that conversation going, nudge the customer towards the action we want them to take, namely scheduling a tour, right? So say a question comes in, can I bring my dog with me? And it comes to a human agent. Our people are great. They're polite. They're knowledgeable. They're going to answer the question. But what happens next is a little bit of a crapshoot. It kind of depends on the agent and what kind of day they're having. Like, maybe they'll ask some more questions to nurture the prospect, or maybe they just leave it at, okay, well, feel free to reach out if you have more questions. I hate that. They've already reached out. They don't need to reach back out. So the AI does not put the onus on the renter to reach back out. It will provide the answer about the pet policy, might upsell the pet-friendly amenities on site, and then it will always, always, always ask to come in for a tour, right? And so our numbers really speak for themselves. For year to date, our prospects that interact with the AI have scheduled a tour at almost 50% conversion rate versus, sub 20% for prospects that have not interacted with the AI. Then Cameron, I think the second part of your question was, are there times that we would not utilize AI? I love this question, and I'm actually interested to hear how my fellow panelists feel about this. And I mean, I'm not just saying this because we're on a panel about AI, but no, I think that there is never a reason for AI not to at least have a seat at the table. I think there are certainly times when, situations shouldn't be fully automated. That's kind of been the theme of this whole conference, right? We're not trying to replace people. We're trying to use AI and humans together. So some of those more sensitive conversations might be legal matters or things that impact the property financially. I don't think those should be fully trusted to AI, but there's no reason that an AI solution can't provide insights and best practices to our teams to help them facilitate those types of workflows.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think one of the cooler things as we move away from automation and more towards AI in our industry is the extension of your team. And I know specifically for BH, Kelly, would love for you to introduce yourself. But I know you guys always talk about the Mint experience and what that means and how you guys embody that on-site with your team members, off-site with your team members, and your residents embody that too. So how are you guys viewing kind of that relationship between the AI and your team members to continue that Mint experience and deliver that to your residents?
I love this question. So Kelly Kutach, I am the Chief Marketing Officer for BH. We are a large operator, so about 107,000 units across 42 states, third-party managed. And before I talk about the Mint experience, I want to talk about a couple things, and I promise I will get to AI. So I want you to think about two things. The first one is we in this room are all consumers. There are two things that consumers have in their expectations today: immediacy and instant gratification. Those two things are a given, a known. And the other thing is, depending on which source you consult, anywhere from 74 to 90% of buyers make a purchase decision based on experience. And why that matters is how we get to the Mint experience. So if you think about your on-site teams every single day, it's the volume, it's the immediacy, it's the instant gratification that our renters are coming to us with. And so when we started to think about the Mint experience, it was really how do we combine the right tech stack with a change in thinking around our processes and people to build an experience that is supremely focused on our residents and providing that immediacy and that instant gratification, making it simple to rent an apartment or tour an apartment or just go through the process. So back to AI. AI was always at the very center of that conversation. You can't build a tech stack that answers for the immediacy and the instant gratification without having AI as part of that. In the multifamily industry for a long time, there's been a very strong belief that humans need to be involved at every touch point. And like you, I'm not saying that humans have to hold every touch point or you need to hand over everything to AI, but I think AI has to be a part of that conversation along the entire customer journey. And so from a Mint experience perspective, the way we have always thought about the Mint experience is how do we provide mind-blowing, wildly awesome experiences to our residents? That's the focus. And then how do we build the tech stack, the people, the processes, and the entire ecosystem around that idea? And for us, the technology AI has been a big part of that. I think the thing we always think about is how do we use AI in a way that feels seamless as possible to our prospects, because the human interaction between AI and our prospect and then our teams has to feel seamless. We don't want this experience to be jarring.
Yeah, and it's always like definitely a bit of a mix of art and science when you're trying to streamline your operations, whether it's where is it human, where is it AI, where is it on-site, where is it off-site. So I think it's really important to be thoughtful about that journey. So next question is here to Ian. Would love for you to introduce yourself. Then would love for you to chat through, similar to Kelly and kind of that streamlined experience that you guys are generating for Avanti. How have you guys used AI-generated data to help craft your strategic thinking, and what impact have you seen that have on your performance metrics?
Yeah. All right. Ian Andrews. I am SVP of Innovation and Data Analytics at Avanti Residential. We're a vertically integrated owner-operator, about 10,000 units across the country. For us, from AI, there's a number of different ways where we're using it from a strategic standpoint. We see AI very much as that agent augmentation side of things, and really being able to, the easiest use case is just the repetitive tasks that are done on a day-to-day basis, getting AI to jump in there and letting each person really be able to focus on their core strength and those value add activities. But another way that's unique, I think, in how we've utilized AI to really help strengthen our agents and team is really from a training perspective. We're able to really, we have a lot of granular KPIs and individualized analytics, and we're able to take that on an agent by agent basis and really utilize our training database and come up with a very customized training program for each individual agent, whether they're in a centralized role or whether they're on site. The customization side of AI is a huge piece of it. And it's not just from the renter side, and although that part is incredibly important, but we're able to do it for our own team and employees to really create much more efficient learning experiences and career pathing.
I'm going to go off script a little bit here, so sorry for that. I'm going to ask Ian you a question. I know you guys have been using some of the resident AI products, and automation provides such a large lift there. Like, on the contrary to the prospect side, like, how are you guys viewing resident AI to empower some of your other services that you guys are standing up?
Yeah, I think for us, from the resident side, I think there's such a high volume that you really need to use some of the automation and resident AI to just be more efficient with it. I think for us, it's how can we create as least friction as possible in the renting experience, and so for us, that's really the automation side is really able to help us do that. It's able to give those, whether it's a rent reminder or actually, much more personalized conversation to solve their need. I think it plays a huge impact both on, the renter experience and then on our team's experience and really making them scalable.